Hey Manju, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm ready, sir.
Okay, someone could you please check the YouTube live as well if it is working?
Sir, for the YouTube, it's saying waiting for holistic nutrition works.
Mhm. Could you please check the link that I shared on chat?
Yeah, I've checked the same thing.
No, no, chat, Zoom chat.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's streaming there.
Probably I might have given the wrong one. Anyways, good evening and welcome everyone to the second week of the proposed 6 series CNE being conducted on the upcoming occasion of 6th anniversary of Academy of Lifestyle Medicine. Most of you know us by the name Holistic Nutrition Training Program. It is our flagship program, and we have been conducting this CNEs on a regular intervals. And every year we are conducting this holistic on in the month of December, and also during our anniversary. You may consider this as like half yearly update. And last week we have seen two incredible cases, both by Bhuvna, which is on food allergies, and also by Neelam from Delhi. So now we have two more important cases to discuss now. And as of you all know, Manjunath is here from Bangalore, joining us from Bangalore. Welcome, Manjunath. And Manjunath is with HNTP for quite some time, a real live wire, quite active in the group and always like shows his bright side and lights of the moment. And when he told me that he's going to present his case, I thought like it is someone from his family because that case also he did an incredible transformation, and I really loved the intensity which he brought into that case. But when I saw this case, and I'm thoroughly impressed with the way he structured the entire program with his client. And Manju, I am making you as co-host, and you want to share from your own end
Yes,
the
sir.
slides.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that
I have
would
the
that would be
PPT.
better. That will give you more flexibility. Okay. So
Sir.
wish you all the best, and yeah, please go ahead. Over to you.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. I'll just start sharing the screen. So can anybody just confirm whether the slides are visible? PPT is visible. Any
Not yet.
participant?
We are seeing only your folder.
Okay. No, sir.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
Fine.
Please go ahead.
Yes. So thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful introduction. And as we know, today I'll be showcasing a case which had been working quite some since the last close to like 6 months. A very heart touching case with me because there are very few cases which wherein I can truly say or where I can truly believe that I have did some kind of work, right? That inner satisfaction is what makes truly a changeable moment for any person. And among many cases which I have handled, this is also one of the case. And everything is possible just not the knowledge what we had, but also the knowledge what we have gained from HNTP. So without wasting much of the time, let us start. And all the credits, thanks a lot to Dr. Suresh sir, with whom or with his guidance, we were able to do and achieve what we were able to do as of now. So this story starts as follows. This is about a guy, a 34-year-old male who was or who had a lot of challenges. So the reason why this name has been given as reverse, restore, and renew is basically because we were able to help him using the holistic tools to completely transform his life, right? And along with that, this is a story about or of a person who had been, recognized or diagnosed having a HbA1c of 8.9, and with all the holistic interventions and the dietary modifications and changing in his lifestyle. Now, not now, but to be frank, it was like close to like 2-3 months back. His HbA1c has been brought down to 6.8, and the best part was not only the HbA1c, but it also was able to lose weight. And the weight which he had lost is especially the fat loss. So this is about a small introduction. So basically what we'll be doing is to break down the entire presentation in terms of 4 parts. The first is the beginning part, wherein we'll be going through or understanding about the patient profile, the health crisis or the health challenges, what he had been through, and what made him to take the decision. And then comes the turning point. The second is the assessment and discovery, wherein the lifestyle patterns, that the dietary habits, and also the emotional mapping. This is where truly the HNTP tools comes into picture. This was started. And the third phase is the intervention and transformation, wherein the holistic coaching protocols across the body, mind, and spirit was not only introduced, but also was taken, which means to say that he took it and also saw the results. And then was the results and the renewal part. So basically, this is where the outcome can be measured based on this transformation of his life. To start with, let us just start. I would like to share about a brief introduction about what really happened in his life and what he is and where he is from. So he's a 34-year-old male, not yet married. Basically, he's working in an IT sector in Bangalore, and he is from Kadapa region. And he was currently staying with his father and his elder brother. And unfortunately, he lost his mother during the COVID, and that event had triggered a lot of emotional struggle for him, as he was the younger son in his family and the younger kid. He was too close or too much attached with his mother. But due to COVID, the circumstances in his family was such that wherein his mother had or they lost his mother, and that had affected tremendously, especially on his personal life, professional life, and also other aspects of his life, of his life. And due to which the marriage proposals was being rejected, and even he didn't want to get married. He was just dragging things. And then what really happened in his life was he was facing a lot of or severe fatigue and tiredness, even to do his normal daily activities. and he was going through a lot of hair fall issues and mood swings, and constantly lethargic in doing even his day old or everyday activities. And when he used to check his blood pressure, it was always more than or close to like 160, 165 on the higher end. And also, due to the loss of his mother, there was a lot of depression in his life. It was like almost his life had come to an end. So this was the words what he used to say, right? And when he met us, it was in the month of December when he went through all these health issues. And once he met the doctor, doctor had informed him to get a master checkup done, a normal routine to understand his blood parameters. Post which, what really changed was his attitude. So once he went through the blood report, he had a lot of doubts, and he actually wanted to know what would be the outcome if he had continued with his current lifestyle, right? And his HbA1c was elevated to 8.9, and his blood pressure was high. And what really did uh, was, once he came to this report, he still felt really bad about himself, and he went back and he never returned back, right? And after maybe like this happened in the month of December, the end of December, he just went back and he never turned out. And post 10 to 15 days, again he came back to the same doctor, and that is where he just said to the doctor that, doctor, I don't want to start with any kind of medications. If there is a way wherein I can bring it down, kindly help me in those aspects. And the doctor didn't even hesitate, or the doctor didn't even was reluctant. The doctor gave two options. That the first option was to start with medication, and the second option was to completely change his lifestyle. That is was the initial consideration which was, or the options which was given to him. And he chose the second option where he didn't want to start, because he had spoken to a couple of his family members and his friends who had given him an input that if you start with medication once, it will be a lifetime medication, and it should, or it cannot be stopped. And then that is where things started changing, and he met me, especially in the month of January. It was almost like second week of Jan. And in second week of Jan, he came with his blood reports stating that I would like to change my lifestyle, and based on the reports which I have. And once I went to the report, I just had an appointment scheduled, and we had a normal discussion, and where I was able to inform him about his current blood reports. So he was also going through the deficiency of vitamins, minerals, and all the symptoms, whatever he had, we just made a note of it. And whatever the information he had shared regarding his current lifestyle was, which was just the fatigue part, or the challenges what was going through in his life. And once he just approached us, I just informed him to get the weight checked. And once he had checked the weight, it was like 114 kilos. Then I told him, in a very polite way that, as considering, and the words which I used was, see, I'll be considering you as my brother, a younger brother, and I would be informing that the report what you are having is not at all good. So if you want to change your life, yes, we are there. We will surely help you out in this part. But just one commitment from your end is what we say has to be done. And you will be able to see the results. And don't worry about the results. I can assure you, if you do what has been said in that time frame, results are bound to come. And weight loss is just a byproduct. This is what I always say to my clients, that weight loss is just a byproduct. You have to focus on what should be done. And once the second part is where the assessment and discovery took place. Initially, I just gave him a very simple diet chart to follow. That was in the month of January. So January second week, I just gave him a simple diet chart to follow, because I just wanted to understand whether he'll be able to put the effort and the commitment would be from his end or not. And post 15 days, a very simple diet chart was shared, and he was able to follow it. But majorly after a week's time, because of his office work and a couple of other commitments, maybe like 3 4 days, he was not able to even follow that. And in February 2nd or the first week, he again came back and he said, "Sir, whatever you said, I just want to restart it again, because in the last 15 days, I was able to just do for 1 week. And because of my office schedules and frequent traveling, for the last 1 week, I was not able to do." And that is where I again had a round of discussion with him. And I informed him why not you go with a monthly package rather than going on with a 3 months package? And in the monthly package, we had just jotted down what all would be covering. So basically, the assessment was covered, understanding his lifestyle, understanding his everyday routine, and also what really mattered was the food, which was basically changed. And then once we understood his lifestyle, he used to wake up early in the morning at 8 o'clock and sleep by 11 o'clock. His sleep quality was good and physical activity was nil, and he was leading a very sedentary lifestyle. And also because he had lost his mother, and he had lot of cravings for sweets or high carb food. And then we also noticed that the hydration was not at all good according to his weight and height and his daily routine, which was also changed. And once we started with his dietary changes, basically we started, I started with the detoxification part. So every day detoxification drinks in the morning was started just to help him to get or to improve his gut health. And that was what started to change. He started feeling really good about it. And every week we used to have a one-on-one meeting. That is what was the session we was informed. And every week we had a meeting. It was close to like 15 to 20 minutes of the recall which was done. And along with that, we also started with mapping his holistic aspect, because this is a very, very important aspect. As we know, initially the moment we speak about holistic aspect, it's a very big question with the client, that why should I do, what is the reason to do, and then once he was comfortable with the dietary aspect, the other aspects or the 7 areas of life was addressed, and then the questionnaires was shared with him considering all the 7 areas of life, and he was able to answer all the 7 areas of life, and we understood where he was lacking, and we understood where the score was too less in which area of his life, right? And what we basically understood was the emotional aspect, the social emotional aspect was very bad. He had scored very bad in that, and the social part was also not too good, and the emotional part was really bad because of the passing by of his mother, and he had been almost close to like going on to even the depression part. And then once that was understood, so what was done was to just start with the change of giving him journaling, right? So as we know, this is a very, very important aspect of the change which had to be informed and started. So every day, what simple things was given to him was to just write what was going on in his life. So making a window of every 2 hours, he was able to write, and he was able to see very small results. Sometimes he used to get a lot of confusion, he had a lot of questions, and every week session was addressed to him, and he all the doubts which he had was cleared, and he was coming up with a lot of questions on why should I write, and why are these certain thoughts which was triggering, why are these triggering, and this and couple of thoughts which he had even from his childhood was triggering a lot. And this was the actually the reason. What I would like to say is he was becoming more and more aware of the thought which was triggering. And especially once we started with the intervention and the transformation, what we did was combining nutrition and also the aspect of the holistic tools. So in terms of nutrition, as I said, detox drink was introduced, and this slowly changed his food habits from high carbs to high fiber and high protein foods. And then healthy evening snacks was introduced, because this was the time when he was munching on a lot of refined foods. And then every once in 15 days, the diet chart was changed or small intervention was involved. And monthly package after initial follow-up, that is initially after the 15 days follow-up, he logged in or he enrolled for the monthly package. And then considering his physical activity, as he was completely leading a sedentary life, it was changed. For the first week, he just started walking, and then gradually he made up his mind saying that, sir, I want to go and join the gym. Then I said, it's really good that you have come up with this change. You can start hitting the gym, doing all kinds of exercises. So first, especially the cardio workouts was introduced, and later then his strength training exercise were gradually introduced. Coming on with his mindfulness, even we started with his daily meditation. He was introduced to one of a person, a Guruji, wherein he started guiding him in terms of meditation, and he used to do meditation every day mornings, and breathwork exercises was also introduced. From our end, the journaling for thought awareness was introduced, and this was one of the changes which he truly believed, and he was aware of the thought which was triggering from within. And after close to spending like 2 months, he was able to see, or I was able to see, that the kind of changes, especially in his thought process, was visible. And that is what basically what I mean to say is his mind started to calm down, right? And he was able to identify the triggering thoughts. And coming on to the emotional healing, gratitude was again started along with all the other aspects. And he was able to, or we had informed him to start writing down on terms of everyday practice along with journaling. Gratitude was started, looking into the mirror and just saying thank you was also started, and thanking everybody every day in his life was also done while he was journaling. And along with that, not only the client, even from the coach side, that change had to be visible and was to be started. So what I used to do was also write on behalf of him while I was journaling on every day. I used to just write that he wanted, or let the universe give me that, the knowledge, the required knowledge from my end to help him to change his life, and also building relationship and harmony with himself. Coming on to the tracking part, weekly once the tracking was done, and complete assessment, and each and every month we were able to see a substantial change in his health. So every week, or sorry, every month, an average of 6 kilos of weight loss, especially the fat loss, was seen, and in a span of 3 months he easily lost 18 kilos, and his energy levels was seen. There was a drastic change. Fatigue had reduced, and he had gained lot of confidence. And more times, whenever he used to come and meet, there was a change in his appearance. The kind of, the smile in his face was very clearly visible, and the style of expression had changed. His body language was, changing, and he was becoming more and more reachable to people. Initially, he was like a very introvert person, but gradually things started changing. And these small changes, yes, for us also, for me also, it was able to be observed. But the major change was in terms of his colleagues or his office colleagues and his friends, who were able to see that there was a change within him. That observation was done from their end, and they used to compliment him, saying there is something which is new, and what is that you are doing? Because he was losing 6 kilos per month, and with the holistic tools of just gratitude and journaling, there was a lot of changes. And his office colleagues were always what initially they were worried about him, and then they started asking what is that you're doing, but he didn't relieve that he was on the monthly package with us, and also he was practicing the holistic rules. And at the end, the results and the renewal part is what really changed. And at the end of the fourth month, right, so in the month of February he enrolled, and uh, in in the sense of February, March, April and May, in that 4 months when we tracked, he had lost 24 kilos, and when he joined, he was 114 kilos, and by the end of fourth month, he was 90 kilos, and his BMI was reduced from 40 to 31.8, and his HbA1c was reduced from 8.9 to 6.8, and his blood pressure had been normal. The basic things what changed was, especially in terms of his positive mindset, his energy had gained, and the transformation, especially the socio-economic transformation, was the biggest change which we were able to observe. And basically what I have personally learned from this case is, the trust and the process. Initially when he had come, the first time when he had met me, I just had informed him to, why don't you just enroll for a package and see the results? And he was very reluctant. And then I understood that something has to be changed, not from himself, but also from my side. That is where things started to change. And I started journaling and writing every day. And I started praying on behalf of him. And at the end, the patience which was able to see from myself had also was one of the driving factors to get the result. So I learned that patience creates results that truly last, because not everything happens in the timeline. What I mean to say is, whatever had to happen, that was not according to my vision will, but it was the universe plan. So for that client to change, it was not only his responsibility, but also the responsibility of of my being a coach to him, right? So that is what I truly wanted to share. And this case, has brought a lot of changes, especially within me, because as Dr. Suresh sir says, each and every client is a book, right? And to understand that book, it takes time, it takes a lot of effort, not only from the client, but also from us, because we need to be prepared, especially to handle those kinds of cases. And to handle those kinds of cases, the knowledge, the wisdom is what we need to have. I would also like to share his blood reports. So we had done his blood report when he had initially joined us. So I believe this blood report is visible.
No, not yet. It is not open.
Yes. So this is his blood report. And this was in the month of December last year, where he had got his blood test done, the initial one. And post which he just went back, he didn't turn up. So it's very clearly visible that his random blood glucose levels was 160 and his HbA1c was 8.9. So this was his first blood report. And this is where his mean blood glucose was 208. And then comes the change of this blood report again when we had done his blood report in March 2025. So in the month of March, when we repeated his blood report, it was 6.8, and even his mean blood glucose was 148. And it is almost like now 3 months since the last blood test was done. So his next blood test has been scheduled in this month, especially on last week of this month, wherein again a blood test will be done to understand his HbA1c. And to my understanding, I have a very gut feeling that his blood HbA1c will be bought within 6 or close to 6. And initially, because of this, we had not even started the medication. We had informed him, let us take it up as a challenge, wherein we'll be helping you out to overcome the health challenge which you are going through. So this is about this case which I just wanted to share. And I would like to thank Suresh sir and all our HNTP coaches, especially our beloved Revati madam, Dhanya Lakshmi, and all the senior coaches, because all the cases which have been presented through them, which I was constantly monitoring and seeing, made this change. And one true learning which I have learned is, change cannot be expected from outside, but change should come from within. So once we change our thinking process, once we change our, the energy levels, of course, the universe is always open and it will send you the clients for which we are looking for. This is the just which I wanted to share. And I just thank Suresh sir for giving me this chance or opportunity to present this case. Yeah, any questions, anybody?
Yeah, that was an excellent case presentation, Manju. Very well done. Okay, so you are on dot. Exactly. You took 25 minutes to complete the presentation, and it is very detailed, and you emphasized on the history taking part, okay, which is very vital when it comes to managing chronic diseases. It's not just calories in and calories out, just like how we get trained as clinical dietitians. So even if you take minimum amount of calories, then what you can burn, unless and otherwise, the metabolism, which is controlled by our emotions, memories, and thought process and our stress levels, if the metabolism is not optimum, it doesn't matter how many calories you restrict, it will not give you the results. Okay, thank you very much. And we have another case coming up from Rima from Coimbatore, and she will be presenting a very interesting case. And to introduce Rima, and very recently she got her poster got selected in a conference in NIN where R&D Sadhana Awards were given. So Rima, it's already 6:30. So over to you. You can start sharing your screen.
Yes, sir. My screen visible?
Yeah, it is. Can you make it full screen?
Yes. Is it fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, great. So, good evening, everyone. I'm just going to take you through a journey of a postpartum incontinence of a woman. So, before going into deep into the journey, I'll just give it just like who she is. So this woman is like a 35-year-old woman from India. She has settled down in Australia. So basically, she came for me like postpartum weight management, weight loss. So she was 70 kg when she came to me. But on deep history taking, I was keen to know like she had an history of urinary incontinence, and also on her blood interpretation, it was shown that she had this low vitamin B12 and vitamin D values, and also like she had this iron deficient anemia early once for which she was taking a shot. And also she mentioned that she was taking this having this low blood pressure with the episodes of giddiness occasionally. So moreover all these things, the one thing which was bothering her beyond the weight was like her incontinence issue. So it drastically made her social life and emotional life had a great impact on her social and emotional life. So this woman is like basically from engineering background, but she's settled down in Australia, and over there she was like working for senior caretaker. Okay, so this was like the major impact of her symptoms, incontinence symptoms on her life. So basically, she loves playing badminton, but because of this incontinence issue and her leakage, she couldn't proceed with that. And then she also have like fear of movement and reduced exercise participation. This is because she was like her job is more physically demanding. She need to lift the patients in order to take care of them. So this was also impacted because of the incontinence issue. And to overcome all these steps, she was under like an instrument called pessary, which was given as a extra external support for her. This was used for her controlling the incontinence. And the coming to the emotional impact, so because of this incontinence issue she felt so embarrassed to go outside, and this in turn reduced her self-confidence and socialize with others. So when it comes to social impact, she started to withdraw herself because of this urine leakage and other stuff. So it was like the major concern which she was discussing about. So when I was like looking beyond the symptoms, I was like digging deep about her, and she had this different patterns in her behavior. Where when I was like suggesting her to go start with some walking, she was not ready to go because she always wants to be supported by some. She needs some external push. So whenever some friends accompanied her, she goes for a walk. If that doesn't happen, she doesn't do anything for her own, and there is like lack of self acceptance, and she's not at all prioritizing herself. So whenever her friends comes, she will be more motivated. So it is not for her own self, but for the friends thing, she'll be going for the walk and all. And when I was like addressing on the emotional pattern, she discussed a lots and lots of like emotional suppression and anger that was going on, and she also had little relationship challenges. And this since being a senior resident caretaker, she always have seen a lots and lots of death happening at her place. So this in turn subconsciously created a fear in her. So she always fear like if someone goes out or something happens to anyone, she always thinks to that extreme that they will be gone away. Yeah. So this is like a major situation that happened. So one day while we were on a call, she was so down, and I was like discussing what happened, and she was telling like, see, I was like, this one senior resident was so close to me, and all of a sudden she passed away. So I couldn't accept that easily, and it drastically impacted on her dietary patterns, on her regular activities. So on deeper discovery of that situation, she just exposed that she used to love her grandparents a lot. And since she was in this Australia, she couldn't be able to attend her grandparents' demise, which her grandmother, especially, whom she loves a lot. So, on seeing the demise of the senior resident in close, she was like getting back to the memories. She was like holding a lots of grief and guilt that she couldn't be with them at their last moments. So yes, so typically we will be trying to find out the root cause, not only on the nutritional part. Since it is a holistic aspect, I was like addressing all the root cause which would be a possibility. So when it comes to the physical factors, she was like a mother of two. This incontinence issue started after the second baby's delivery. So after first baby delivery, she was taking care of her, but after the second baby delivery, that was the point when she joined this job. So she didn't do any of the physical conditioning or any strengthening exercises. So this led to the pelvic floor weakness. And the second thing is like the job, as I said earlier, it was so physically demanding, which in turn added the pressure to the pelvic area. So there was like a prolapse in her part, which was the reason for this incontinence. And on addressing the nutritional deficiency. See, the major concern was here is like vitamin B12 deficiency. So vitamin B12 usually gives the nerves the sensation. So that was lost. And other thing is like vitamin D, which helps in the muscle contraction. So these two were supplemented, and also through the diet, it was like addressed. And she's having this iron. So this iron was also addressed through the diet. And also she was not having a balanced meal. So the meal was like whenever she goes for work, it will be more of like protein and fiber and less carbs. And she is at home, she will be concentrating more on carbs and there will be less fiber. So it was a bit challenging for me to bring her back to include vegetables on a regular basis. But since she was like born and brought up, and the hostel days, during the school days she was at the hostel, so she got used to eat whatever is available. So she is not having the habit of taking her own interest, having some wishes to cook anything. So this was impacting in her present condition, so she doesn't like to cook for her own. So whatever is available, she will be having it. So coming to the emotional factor, as I said earlier, there was lots of grief and emotion she was holding upon. And also due to the hostel days at the childhood, the parents were not emotionally available for her, which also impacted her emotional part. And when it comes to the lifestyle, she was not regular with her physical activity. And as I said, no prioritization of her health was happening. And also, apart from all this, she was like her emotional burden always bursts with like anger towards the children. And the other factor is like sleep disturbances. Her children at times bedwets, and this irritated her, and she gets used to have the sleep disturbances. And coming to the next part, which is like an intervention. So these were the root cause I have figured out. So as I said, I was like addressing on the B12 and B with some supplements and the dietary part. I slowly introduced mindful eating. So over here, I didn't count it on the calories because it didn't work for her. So mindful eating was happening. I was educating her how to have a balanced meal plate. So this helped her to pick proper set of foods and balance her fluids. And then hydration was addressed upon. Since she was leaking and urinating a lot, she used to restrict her hydration in initial phases. So through gradual hydration and introduction of water-rich fruits and vegetables, this hydration was maintained. And also this fiber and nuts and seeds, I educated her that she has to take care of herself. So in recent days, she started to plan her meals and include those stuffs. And when it comes to the pelvic health, physical activity especially, she was under following Kegel exercises along with the deep breathing exercises, and this pessary was supporting her. But this pessary was like used on a regular basis. And when it comes to the lifestyle, it was like a structured walking. So initially, gradually, we started with the walking. Then we figured out what are her favorite activities. So she said that she'll be liking yoga, swimming, badminton. So these things were gradually introduced. So from a beginner swimmer, she actually started to practice on a regular basis. And emotional healing. So over there, I covered like the nutrition part and the physical movement and the lifestyle parameters. So now comes the emotional part. So there was various tools which I started to educate her, understand her emotional behaviors. So starting with food emotional journaling, we were able to understand what she was going through, and slowly her grief and other guilt were released through unposted letters followed by affirmations. So she was like giving supportive affirmations so that she should come out of the situation easily. And then lots of reflective exercise on a daily basis was happening. So she used to share her daily journaling to me, with which the reflection exercises was happening. And I would say this radical gratitude program by Dr. Rupinder ma'am was like a game changer for her. So I just thought like she was opening up, but not to that extent. So I thought this radical gratitude program would definitely help her. So I recommended her, and as she started working on her gratitude and reflection, she was able to understand the more key root causes and the emotional pattern she was going through. And literally, we were like, she used to do the gratitude session with her, share the images with me. So later we will be having a deeper discussion on the reflection she was doing. So in this way, we were able to overcome all the emotional pattern and the guilt she was going through. And this really gave her a emotional safety. And she in fact called and told me that her anger levels has been reduced in these days. And earlier she used to like react for her situation, but it has been reduced. And yeah, as I said, instead of reacting, she used to beat her children out of anger. But nowadays, she is trying to calm her down, talking more politely to him, and more emotional regulation was happening. And she started spending time for herself. So earlier, who needs external push, nowadays she is going on her own for this badminton and swimming and other stuff she's doing on her own. And also, she was yesterday, 2 days back, she did call me and said, like, Rima, one senior resident passed away. Yeah, it hurted me a lot. I gone for the condolences, but the very next day, I'm just okay. I just came through it out of easily. So this was the thing which she came to, and said me, which I was so happy about her resilience. And when it comes to the behavioral transformation, she was so confident. She started prioritizing her own needs, and even she had had a bucket list of going out on a girls trip, which was also happened on this journey. And when it comes to the physical transformation, the major thing is like her urinary incontinence got improved nearly 80%. So it's been like an year she was traveling with me. And recently, when she gone and met the physiotherapist, she was said that her muscle contraction has been happened like around 80%. And even in between, she found that her uterine tissue has a prolapse that was also reduced. And she said that she at a stretch she crossed like around 200 meters without any break, which was her biggest achievement in this year. And nowadays she is feeling more stronger, able to do in all the activities. And when it now comes the weight loss, so these days where her major focus was weight loss, once she was into the session, she didn't talk about the weight because it was there were ups and downs on the weight. But rather than that, she was more focusing on the quality of life she was having. The more she felt free and the more she felt like emotionally free, She was like prolonging the session just to get out of that and to have a better mental clarity. And eventually, as a byproduct, this inch loss eventually happened. People said that they physically she looked very slim. She got compliments from her friends. And this pessary, which was used on a regular basis for this urinary incontinence, has been reduced, and now it has been prescribed only on the heavy workout days. It has to be worn. And she plans her meals apart from her own health. Her kids' health is also getting better. Their bedwetting episodes is also reduced, which is like a double dhamaka for her. And yes, as I said, this is like a testimonial from her. Uh, she said, like, when I started this journey, I was not sure where I was going to.
Rema, may I read?
Yeah, sure, sir. If I'm like an express, you can.
Yeah. 1 year with Rema. When I started this journey, I was not sure about what I was doing to do. I thought it was just going to be another diet chart and weight reduction, but holistic approach was all new for me. I fought a lot with my past issues. I love writing, but struggled to make time to sit and write. But found out that writing gives so much relief. In the past year, I wanted to concentrate more on incontinence and weight reduction. My incontinence has reduced significantly, and I started seeing some changes in my shape, though weight is still up and down. But I'm happy about the overall progress I am doing. Thank you, Rima. Next year, I want to concentrate on being more healthy and mainly consistent, whether it comes to journaling or eating. This will be my goal for next year.
Yeah. So correctly, this month we completed the first year, and I was like redefining her goals because the goal she had last year is not going to work for this year. So we were like reworking on her goal. So now she's not worried about the weight. And she in fact said to me like people asked like you didn't lose weight in numbers, but why you are still continuing? But I said you couldn't understand what I am going through. I have transformed beyond this. So that is the conclusion of this journey. So as mentioned, like true healing changes more than symptoms. It is we don't only address the symptoms, but it goes beyond the symptoms. We address the whole person, and eventually this happens. Thank you. Yes. I would thank Kavita for this case because she was the one who trusted me. It is her friend. She trusted me in this journey and she handed over her to me. And I hope I made justice for her.
Excellent, excellent case presentation from both of you. So when you sent me the slides and all, and I just don't want to reveal so much about the case and prolapse and all these things. But since we have a solid 10 minutes for discussion, I invite people who are first-time visitors to HNTP case studies. I know most of you will be having a lot of questions about the approach either Manju or Rima followed with their clients. So feel free to ask your questions. And Manju and Rima, if you can come on camera, and I think you'll be facing a lot many questions.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. And also any senior coaches or students from HNTP, if you want to come online and ask any questions or congratulate them, or that would be a nice gesture.
Sir, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, actually, Reema presented a cases like she's a very, very best friend of mine, and I travel with her since 2009. And our journey is like friends and family members. And the result which I see in her is like marvelous. We met physically in presence in last December, and I was so happy on her transformation because even I'm also in the personal transformation process and everything. It was so happy and glad to see the transformation in others also. though it is a very close friend of mine, and I felt so happy. So thank you so much, Reema. It was so emotional for me because I worked with her for a long time, right? So, mm.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Mm.
And one question from me to all the audience, especially, because if you look at the way Manjunath handled the case, okay, I'm a medical doctor. I'm not like you learned dietitians. I don't know anything about food. Okay, so as a doctor or as a physician, what I would see is 160 by 100 is not at all normal. Okay, and 8.6 or 8.9 or whatever it is, the random or mean blood sugar about 200, I would immediately put them on pharmacotherapy. But look at the way Manju handled both these things. See, he not only helped reduce the weight, but the patient has become normotensive. And second part is uh, the sugar levels have come down, the weight has come down, and Manjunath clearly mentioned it is the fat loss. Okay, not just weight. Okay, and even Rima also mentioned it is not just weight, but there is a lot of inch loss. That is like the body fat gets redistributed, and it is not easy for urinary incontinence, especially during pregnancy. If there is a slight little bit of what do you say? This what do you call it? Prolapse, right? Usually these days, gynacs they suggest surgery, surgical correction. But now you look at both these coaches. So if you bypass lifestyle coaches or lifestyle medicine coaches and go directly, you will be forever be put on. I mean, look at the boy. I mean, he is hardly 34 years old. Okay, unmarried. Imagine his life had he put on like lifestyle medication to control both his BP and branded as diabetic, obese, and hypertensive. Now, Manjunath actually gave them a new hope that these can be managed. The first line of treatment is always lifestyle. Okay. So, how much of emotional trauma or financial burden the patient must have bypassed just approaching a lifestyle medicine coach? Okay. This is the point I want all of you to think over why learning lifestyle and holistic medicine is the need of the hour, and all of you need to update your knowledge on this particular aspect. So, the last sentence from Rima's slide, it is not always about the symptoms. It is not always about the calories. It's always about the person, what they are going through. If as a coach, if you are able to read the person like a book, then the answers will come automatically. Thank you, both of you, Rima and Manjunath, for excellent case presentations. Yeah, Soumya, your turn.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rima and Manjunath, for bringing two beautiful case studies. I mean, in both the cases, both the clients have seen death of a very close person, and of course, an unknown person as well. But processing death, it takes a toll on one's health, right? I mean, it once more it shows ki how journaling will help process these emotions. Like see, we all go through pain, but when we don't know how to process it, we store it in the body, and that shows up in some other way. So once again, it highlights the importance of journaling. So that is one thing, and beautiful case studies, both of you. And Rima, I have can you just elaborate on this pessary, especially?
So, yeah, so the battery is like a, sorry for the background noise, my kids are
No.
fighting actually. So the battery is like a ring-like instrument which is inserted into the vaginal canal. So
Okay.
for the small muscle contraction, 1 minute. So it was literally like a new for me also. So she said
Mm.
like it is a ring-like instrument which is inserted. It shouldn't be worn during the menstrual periods. But other
Okay.
than that, it can be worn actually on a daily basis. I'm sorry, I'll
Okay.
just get back.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Rima, you are saying something? You're on mute, I guess.
No, I'm just asking him to be quiet, but it is not happening.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Rima.
Manju, there was a question in the chat about like how many calories do you have given to the client in a day? So would you like to answer that? I mean, do you believe in calories in and calories out kind of diet?
So, to be frank, initially I used to, calculate that a lot, calories in and calories out. And even a lot of calculation was done, especially in terms of, the fiber intake or the protein intake part. But later part, what I really understood was, see, if you're emotionally not at all good, right? If you are constantly going through a lot of ups and downs in terms of the thought process or the emotional level, then no matter how much calorie deficit you create or how much nutrients dense food you give to the client or to the patient or to the person, the absorption doesn't happen at all. So whatever goes in
Excellent.
is whatever goes in is automatically coming out. So there's no point you giving him or giving her a lot of calorie dense food. So what has to be fixed is his mental health or his emotional balance. So once that is done, so no matter whether you give him the normal quantity of protein intake, what has to be done or what has to be given, the body will be able to absorb the nutrients from the food. The major issue is the fat disturbance or the fat metabolism got disturbed. Why did the fat metabolism got disturbed, or why did the body start storing the fat? So it was because of his constant, the kind of thoughts which was triggering in his mind, and that was not like 1 or 2 hours in a day or particular time. It was a constant. It was like chronic. So when the body goes through any chronic situation for a very long time, maybe like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years time, then the body has rewired itself. The body has reprogrammed itself from what it used to be and what it is currently. Right. So what really happens is when the body has reprogrammed itself, that is not the actual truth of the body because it has moved from a one phase to a different phase. Now, for it to move again back to the normal phase, that change should happen, and that change can happen only by holistic tools and people venting out all the emotionally suppressed emotions what they have. Because that is what had happened even with me when I lost my dad 4 years back. The kind of emotional burden where I was going through was immense. And what truly helped me was the Louis Hay book. So once I read that book, and there was a lot of activities in that, once I did, I literally had, sat and cried like a baby.
My
So
goodness.
so much of emotions was suppressed within me. I didn't realize that, I was carrying so much of baggage. So once that baggage, started moving out, once that emotion started coming out, there was a lot of change. I was able to feel that change. So until and unless we have a lot of emotions which has been suppressed from years together, so once till it comes out, your body cannot synthesize or metabolize the food what you eat. So as you said, it will always be in your flight or fight mode. And to come out of that, the mental or the emotional imbalance is a must.
Right. So this question is by Pragya, I suppose. And Pragya, hope your question is answered. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to ask. And we have two more questions. One is like about what Rima mentioned about the Radical Gratitude Program by Dr. Rupinder. So, Soumya, are you aware of it? Is Rima there? Can she join?
Yes, I'm aware of that program, sir. But I'm not participated. Vijay, you want to say something? I think you have joined, right?
Yeah, I have joined. In the difficult situation also, how we have to be in gratitude in the time, sir. So that is the radical gratitude Rupinder ma'am teaching.
Okay,
So it's like
Vijay,
a 1 month program. Now only I
right,
also
Vijay, why
joined.
don't you, Vijay, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell me your phone number once.
96. 59
59
28
28
76
76
93.
93. Madhuri, I mean, I just shared Vijay's number in the chat. You can talk to her and she will connect you to the mentor of this Radical Gratitude program. Dr. Rupinder is also a student of HNTP and she has come up with her own this thing, and all the students here, they do design their own courses and programs, and Radical Gratitude is one such program. And most of our HNTP students also have joined that program. And we do have another question. Is HP level improved by iron supplements, sir? Since I am new to this group, it is by Raji.
So what is the question, sir? By taking supplement, will the HB increase?
Iron.
Iron
I
will
mean,
increase.
no. I mean, iron supplements, is it necessary to improve? I mean, did you suggest any supplements?
So, what I would like to say is, because I have tried this with a lot of my clients, supplementation, of course, the name itself says that we are taking something beyond the normal food. If the deficiency has been created in the body, we are taking something beyond the food to help the body get the nutrients. But what we need to understand is, even if you're taking the supplement, and if the results are visible, then it's of course good. There's nothing wrong. But prior to that, we also need to know that the absorption level is happening or not. What if I'm taking a lot of supplement, if my gut health is not good, and if my body is not able to absorb the nutrients from the supplement which I'm taking, then there's no point taking it at all. So first thing is, we need to understand the gut microbiome. We need to understand how much good bacteria are there in the gut. And prior to that, we also need to know, as you said, history taking is such an important aspect, where we'll come to know what kind of situations the person is going through, and we'll be able to understand whether his emotional balance is right, his emotional balance is not right. What is he thinking about himself? What is he thinking about others? Is he a person who's trying to change the whole world, or is he willing to change from himself from within? So all these aspect matters a lot. So see, even if we, as this Rupinder is doing this gratitude session, especially the workshop which she's doing, which wherein I also enrolled, and I'll just the one session has turned a lot. By gratitude itself, now I'm changing every day. The morning, the moment I wake up, I just first thank by closing my eyes for 30 to 45 seconds. Before going to the bed, I do the same activity. Throughout the day, I keeping saying thank you, thank you, thank you for myself, and thanks to everybody. There is so much kind of change within me which I can only feel. But this is what is missing with a lot of people who come and meet us. So ideally, supplements are not bad, but if the inner self is not good, no matter what kind of supplement we take, it will not help to work.
Excellent. Just to add to that particular point, I don't know, most of you, I mean, most of the HNDP students might be remembering this. When I worked with Ryan Fernando, Quad Nutrition, on this supplements part, so I did the pathophysiology of PCOS, hypothyroidism, and IBS, right? So in IBS also, pathophysiology, it is almost like 90 minutes or 2 hours of complete anatomy, physiology, and pathophysiology of IBS. So here the point is the calories in and calories out. I mean, I'm trying to answer Pragya's question over here. See, if you want to understand what IBS is, if a person is severely stressed and that stress disturbs the serotonin or the mesenteric nervous system, it is called MNS. We know about ANS, autonomic nervous system, in which sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, only this, but we don't know about mesenteric nervous system. So the moment your body is stressed out, okay, and it changes the entire gut microbiome in a matter of minutes, right? In fact, in seconds, because say if you give the fiber-rich diet or protein-rich diet or the calorie deficit diet or whatever, you change it drastically, the body doesn't know how to process it because the stressors or the risk factors, they remain the same. and you're just changing the raw material. Say, for example, your body is like a rice processing mill, right? Where you put in the harvest and you'll get rice grains. And suddenly you are putting in wheat into your rice mill. Okay, will you get wheat flour? Processed wheat flour? No, right? So for that, you need to change the machinery. And it will take at least 72 hours for our body to get used to the new kind of raw material that is going into our system. So it has to be a gradual change. And also, how long will it take to take away the grief from your mind, which Rima was mentioning, and which Manju also mentioned? Having lost her mother, the grief he is still carrying. That means his mind is constantly sending or receiving the signals from both ways. I mean, like gut brain axis, all of you might be knowing these days about gut microbiome and all these things. So you are feeling in your gut. Okay, your feelings are there in your gut, and those are not happy memories. So the mind is always in stress. No matter how much calorie deficit that you create, it is not going to change. Okay, first you need to heal the gut. For that, you need to rewrite your emotions or memories. That's how it helps. That's what holistic nutrition is all about. Hope I answered your question. Yeah. Any more questions?
Sir, I would get back to Soumya's question. Sorry for the interruption at the time. So, pessary, Soumya, as I said earlier, it is like an instrument used for urinary incontinence over there. And she was also advised to have this Kegel ball, which has to be practiced on a regular basis for this urinary incontinence. So, these two things were literally new to me. So, she was like, it was like a practice used over there. They don't go for any procedures all of a sudden. They
Yeah.
initially try with this and physiotherapy, and then they would be thinking about the procedures.
Yeah, because that's a quite a new one. Yeah, thank you, Rima.
Yes, Raji, go ahead.
Sir, I have a question, sir. Before this, you have told us that our thought process makes our gut biome or affect our gut biome even for 1 hour, in a 1 or 2 minutes, it will affect our gut biome. But my question from for long before, I have a question that our food is affecting our mood, or our mood, I mean, is this like it is egg coming from a hen, or hen coming from egg? Like this, I have this question. So, because of the food we eat, our stress is created, or mood is created, or how it is related, sir? Mm.
Yeah, Soumya, I think you're the better person to answer this.
Sir, no, sir, please, you please answer.
Rima, would you like to give it a shot?
I would say it could be either way. So maybe if initially the stress, when you assess the root cause, if initially there was an issue with the emotional, then it would have affected the gut. Or vice versa, if there was poor habits of food habits the person was undergoing, it also internally affects their emotional patterns, I would say. How would you see, sir?
Yeah, if you look at the mesenteric nervous system, okay, the nerves that are going from our gut to brain, it is called mesenteric nervous system. So usually we think that our brain is the head that controls everything, every organ in our body, right? That is our normal perception. That means the signals that are coming from our brain should be more that are reaching gut than the signals that are being sent from the entire digestive tract to the brain. Okay. Now look at this. The brain is sending more signals or more information to the brain. The gut is sending more signals to the brain rather than receiving the instructions. Now, there are two aspects, and I do have this course called Weight Loss from Home. Again, it is part of Academy of Lifestyle Medicine. And in that, and even if you remember your high school science biology book, there is a chapter in science called Control and Coordination. Okay. Control is by central nervous system and coordination is by endocrine system. Got it? Now, what is control and what is coordination? The brain's primary function is like protection. It always looks for the threats around us. It always is in survival mode. Okay. But the job of endocrine system is to optimize metabolism, right? Every cell needs to be regulated by a particular hormones uh, to become metabolically optimal. Say, for example, without thyroxine hormone reaching your what do you say, genetic material, so your cell will not be active, right? Similarly, if there is no insulin, sugar will not enter. Without glucagon, the glucose will not be, I mean, the glycogen will not be broken down, or fat will not be broken down. Like that, the metabolism is the feminine energy, I would say, which is like nourishing, and CNS is like more of masculine energy. So in that course, I created a chapter called Fearful Fathers and Marvelous Mothers. So both are required. See, is some people, they have this what do you say, unwanted, ungrounded, and unnecessary fears lodged in since their childhood. Okay, so it could not be related to just food only, but there are certain fears. So that constant fear is sent to the digestive system and the colon mesenteric nervous system. And the body is always on, like, what do you say, guard. Whatever you eat, because they are under the influence of a lot of adrenaline and cortisol, it is not having enough time to process and it will send it away. This is what we call as IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. For irritable bowel syndrome, there must be a stressor which is causing chronic stress, where the person is always on high adrenaline cortisol overload. Now, coming back to the balance, how do you balance this? So you suddenly don't give them high resistant starch or fiber rich food or pulses or green leafy vegetables just like that. So first you need to cut down the stress levels and slowly start improving or increasing the prebiotic food. Of course, probiotics first, then prebiotic food. The moment you start changing the food quality and simultaneously addressing the chronic stress or chronic fear in the person, what happens is the serotonin, the mood stabilizing hormone in our body, is produced in large quantities, right? So this is how it happens. So if it is your food that is damaging your digestive system, or it is your stress that is damaging your digestive system. So it is both ways. That is the reason why at HNTP we emphasize a lot on history taking. We almost go to the preconception level. So there is a video in YouTube in Holistic On, where we called up a famous pediatrician as a panelist. He mentioned the first 1,000 days, okay, of a kid's growth. So the first 1,000 days, where he mentions, I mean, this program involves both gynecologists, OBG, and pediatricians. Even at the time of conception, from the time of conception, a person's thought process or emotions are being imprinted. So we need to look into this first 1,000 days or formative days of an individual. And once we identify the root cause over there, once you start eliminating anything, I mean, for these HNTP coaches, IBS is like a child's play. So, I mean, I gave n number of IBS cases, they can solve it in no time. I know it is an elaborate explanation, but it is required. Sorry if I bored you.
No, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for clearing that. I have this question for so many days. So,
Where are you from?
I'm from Coimbatore, sir.
Okay. And is this your college ID?
No, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm logging. I have logged in from my husband's ID, so he
Okay,
has created something like
right.
this.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have so many questions coming up this second week. We have still 4 more weeks to go till 17th, and we have 8 more interesting cases coming up. And I invite all of you to join. If you have filled up the form, registration form, automatically on the day of conference, you will get a mail where you will get all the links to WhatsApp channel, YouTube, and this thing. And if you want to go through the previous, what do you say, last week's 2 cases by Neelam and Bhuvana, so you will get access to those things also once the uh, session is over. And anyone would like to share their feedback? I mean, Raji, you tell me, I mean, are you a student or practicing dietitian or
No, sir, I'm student, sir.
okay, pursuing what?
I'm pursuing my BO course, sir, in nutrition and dietetics.
Hmm. Okay, how do you find these 2 cases? I mean, did you learn something new?
Yes, sir. The second one, which Reema ma'am explained, it nearly that is half of the things are related to me. It is
Oh,
I always undergoes this low pressure B12 deficiency, and now I'm going through this urinary, I mean, continence.
mm,
So it was, and even I have that emotion
mm.
which I lost my father. From there, I'm relating this. So everything is related to this. The case is very related to me. So I
Yeah,
was
for now
just
you have
amazed.
help in the form of Rima over there. So feel free to reach out to her.
Yes, sir. Sure, sure, sir.
Yeah.
But the constant, I always have this constant low pressure, low BP. So
Mm.
is this a reason? There is a reason of kidneys underworking or electrolyte imbalance or protein deficiency. I cannot relate B12 deficiency. I cannot relate this to anything. Mm.
Okay, now let me ask you the same question you asked us. Your name is Raji, right?
Yes, yes, sir. Rajalakshmi, sir. Yeah.
Rajalakshmi. So now let me ask you the same thing. Is it your emotional life
Mm.
causing the values that you are seeing on your biochemical profile, or your biochemical and physiological or pathological parameters like low BP or vitamin B12 is causing you some emotional disturbance?
Yeah. This is
Got
a
it?
critical question. Yeah.
That
Yes.
is the reason why history
Mm.
taking is very, very important. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And as healthcare professionals, we give lot of importance to numbers,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Sir.
The moment we see 8.9, I mean, like as doctors, we get scared. I mean, 8.9 for a 35-year-old, 34-year-old, still not married, obese, and I need to bring it down by giving metformin or put it straight away on insulin, bring it to normal, as if he's going to die the next day. No, it's not
Mm.
required, right? So let me tell you a story, a simple story. I used to be the guest faculty for National Police Academy in Hyderabad, where all the IPS selected officers will come for their training. I used to be their wellness coach. And sometimes the senior officers also will come for their mid-career training program. So I used to go there and do all their blood tests and do the counseling along with my wife. And uh, so I ordered the tests, and the next day I need to go for the review. In the middle of the night, all of them they have received their reports, and middle of the night I received a call, and 2 days after I am supposed to go for counseling. So he is an IG rank officer. He called me up and said, Suresh, I mean, I just received my, what do you say, lipid profile. My triglycerides are 1300, not 130. It is 1300 per deciliter. What should I do? And I didn't panic. Sir, what did you eat the last night? What did I eat? I mean, it was director's party. Oh, my goodness. Where are you from? Where are you posted? He said somewhere north. So, I mean, like director's party is like, it is like one of the most lavish parties that you can think of. That too for senior IPS officers. All types of drinks, all types of non-veg, all refined food. And especially if it is happening in Hyderabad without biryani, nothing, right? So he had like one too many drinks that night and had biryani, had ice creams, has desserts and everything. And early in the morning, he gave the blood. And by the night, he received the reports. He was like totally gone. I mean, like, am I going to be a heart patient or what? I told him, sir, I mean, did you you had your lunch, dinner? Yes, I completed. Do one thing throughout the day tomorrow. Just uh, have vegetarian food and finish your dinner by 8 p.m. Okay. And give the blood the next day morning. Okay. So he went on like proper vegetarian meal for the next day and gave the blood the following day, early morning, 8 o'clock. And by evening, the reports have come. How come it is possible, Suresh? It is now showing it's only 160. See, all the values that we see are only transient in nature. Okay. So whatever you are feeling, see, emotions is the language of your body. Whatever you feel. See, for example, I'm a non-diabetic, right? I'm 50 years old. But if I hear something very serious, very troubled news, and someone very close to me is in either ICU or has passed away or something like that, suddenly my stress level spikes up. And if I give my blood sample at that time, what do you think my sugar level will be? 100, 120, 140? No, it will be somewhere close to 200 because I'm in acute stress. And in acute stress, sugar is released. Got it? So don't read too much. I mean, values are important and measurements are important to have before and after progress and all. But the way you need to read them, I mean, the way you are supposed to read them changes from person to person. And it takes a lot of practice. That's what you learn in HND. Yeah, I think we are coming to an end. One last question, we'll wind it up. Anyone? I don't think there are any more questions left. I think we need to wind it up. And once again, thank you very much, Rima and Manjunath, for doing these wonderful cases and showing people that what a holistic coach can do and help people in distress to come out of their problem. And thank you all for attending the conference. And I'll see you next Friday, same time, 6 to 7 will be the case presentation, and next 30 minutes will be the case discussion and Q&A. So I'll see you next week with two more interesting cases with two more coaches who are going to present two different cases. And this will happen till 17th of July. That's where we celebrate our HNTP 6th anniversary. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Soumya, did you do a 2 p.m. session today?
No, sir, we didn't do.
Why?
I guess I dropped a message to Revati ma'am. I guess she's engaged with some work. Yeah.
హాయ్ చెప్పు అందరికి. నువ్వు కనపట్లేదు పండు. అక్కడే ఉంది చెప్తా. టమాటా నిందా చెప్పు. హాయ్ చెప్పు. అంటే సరే వెళ్ళరా
Hi,
వచ్చేసి.
Deep.
Yeah. If I'm more than for 1 hour in a meeting, she will come automatically. All right. So who are presenting next week? Is it
Kavita and Jyoti ma'am, sir.
Kavita Vinod, right?
No, Kavita Satish.
Kavita Satish. Okay. Kavita Satish and I don't see Kavita here. I mean, please, I mean, instead of the day of presentation, if you guys can send me the presentation earlier so that I can start spreading the message instead of the day of case presentation. Yeah.
I let them know, sir. I message them.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. All right then. It is exactly 7:30. Thank you all very much. See you next week.